Question 7. Solve the following equation over the interval from 0 to 2 pi inclusive. 2 cos 2 theta minus 1 equals 0. So this is a trigonometric equation, and we may recall from our transformation unit that this is actually a compression. The reason it's a compression is because the value of b is 2. So it's a horizontal compression by a factor of 2. Now, that's very good if we're going to graph this. I'm going to do this algebraically, but what I want us to note, of course, is that changes the period. The period is 2 pi divided by b. So in this case, b is 2. So our period is pi. So that's just information we're going to need to use in the future. Now we'll just solve this question. So I'll bring over the 1. So 2 cos of 2 theta equals 1. Cos of 2 theta, I prefer brackets, equals 1/2. So what makes this different than a normal standard question, which we would have seen in grade 11, is the 2 theta on the inside. So what I'm going to do is make a substitution here. I'm going to say let x equals 2 theta. So the question now becomes cosine of x equals 1/2. And that can be easily solved, especially if we think of our special triangles, and this is on a non-calculated part. So opposite pi over 3 is root 3. Opposite pi over 6 is 1, and then our hypotenuse is 2. So our reference angle for this particular question, cosine x equals 1/2, has a reference angle of pi over 3. And now we'll continue on and solve this. Of course, we want to consider the quadrant. So the quadrant cos is positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. So x in quadrant 1 is simply pi over 3, and in quadrant 4, all the way to the end of quadrant 4 is 2 pi, so we go 2 pi minus pi over 3. And of course we need a common denominator here of 3, so we multiply top and bottom by 3 over 3. So we essentially have 6 pi over 3 minus 1 pi over 3, which is 5 pi over 3. Now that is a wonderful solution, but we're found x, and our original question didn't involve an x. So I got to remember that if I'm looking for theta, theta is, if I solve for theta, theta is equal to x divided by 2. So I need to take each of these solutions and I need to divide them by 2. So the simplest way to divide by 2 is actually to multiply by 1/2. So when I'm looking for theta, I am just going to take pi over 3, and I could divide it by 2, but I'm going to multiply by 1/2. And my other theta is 5 pi over 3, and I'm going to multiply that by 1/2. So my answers, right, top times top, bottom times bottom, pi over 6, and another possible value for theta is 5 pi over 6. So these are my two solutions. And let's just read the original question. To solve the equation from 0 to 2 pi. Now, we already talked about how my period is pi. So because my period is pi, if I add pi to each of these solutions, I'm not larger than 2 pi. So I will actually get a third and fourth solution, which I need to get. So I'm going to take this first solution and add pi. So I get 1 pi over 6 plus 6 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6. And then another solution, I could still add pi and I'll still be less than 2 pi because I'm not all the way to 1 pi. So adding pi is still less than 2 pi. So 5 pi over 6 plus 6 pi over 6 is 11 pi over 6. So to make this clear, I'll circle all my solutions. So I actually get 4 solutions to this question. So let's write out the final answer. The solutions are theta equal to pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6.